The city was waking up slowly. Cars were honking, tea stalls were opening, and people were rushing to offices. Among them was a young woman named Mehreem. She lived in a small rented room and worked in a call center. Life was busy, noisy, and tiring, but she always tried to smile. That morning, Mehreem left her room with her backpack and her favorite cup of chai. The air was cool, and she walked quickly to the bus stop. She had no idea that today would change her life in a way she never expected. Mehreem checked her watch. "Oh no, I'm late again," she whispered. Her manager had already warned her twice. If she was late again, she would lose attendance points, and that meant less salary. She felt nervous, but she kept walking fast. When she reached the bus stop, the bus was gone. She sighed deeply. "Why does this always happen to me?" she muttered. But she didn't give up. She stood quietly and waited for the next bus, hoping something good would happen. After a few minutes, an old uncle came and sat near her. He looked tired but peaceful. "You look worried, Beta," he said gently. Mehreem smiled lightly. "Just another late day, uncle." He nodded. "Sometimes being late saves us from something bad. Sometimes it brings us something better." Mehreem didn't understand, but his words felt comforting. Finally, the next bus arrived. It was not the usual bus. It looked a bit older and had a different route number, but she checked the board. It still went near her office. She climbed in. Only a few passengers were inside. A schoolboy with headphones, a woman reading a book, and a driver who looked unusually cheerful. Mehreem sat near the window. As the bus started moving, she felt something strange. The bus was slower, smoother, and almost peaceful. It didn't feel like the noisy city transport she was used to. She opened her phone to check messages, but suddenly the network disappeared. "No network?" She frowned. "Strange," the schoolboy said. "Mine also not working." The driver laughed. "Enjoy the ride, everyone. Today will be different." Different? How? The bus took a turn that Mehreem had never seen. "Wait, this is not the usual road," she whispered. The woman with the book looked up. "Yes, I noticed too." The men also began murmuring. Everyone looked confused. Finally, someone asked the driver, "Bhaiya, where are we going?" The driver smiled calmly. "Don't worry, I am taking you exactly where you need to go." The passengers exchanged nervous looks. Mehreem felt her heartbeat rise. "Excuse me," she said politely. "I need to go to my office. This doesn't look right." The driver replied in a calm voice, "You will reach where you're meant to reach. Trust me." The bus suddenly entered a quiet road lined with trees. No cars, no people, no noise, just silence. After a few minutes, the bus stopped near an open ground. On one side was a beautiful small park. Flowers, green grass, a tiny lake, and benches. Everything looked peaceful and calm. The driver announced, "10-minute break. Everyone get down." "Break?" Mehreem asked. "But we have to go to work." The driver didn't reply. But when Mehreem looked around, something inside her changed. The place was so peaceful that for a moment she forgot her worries. The air felt fresh, like the kind of air she hadn't breathed in years. The schoolboy ran to the lake. The old woman sat on a bench and closed her eyes. Even the two men stopped talking and stood quietly. Mehreem slowly walked to the edge of the water. The lake reflected the sky like a mirror. Then she heard someone speaking softly behind her. "Beautiful, isn't it?" It was the old uncle from the bus stop. "Yeah, I didn't know such a place exists here," Mehreem said. He smiled. "It doesn't. It appears only when people need it." "What do you mean?" she asked. He looked at her gently. "You've been tired for a long time. Running, worrying, rushing. This place, it's a pause, a reminder. Life is not just running to work." For a moment, Mehreem felt tears in her eyes. She didn't know why, but his words touched her deeply. Mehreem sat near the lake. For the first time in months, she wasn't checking her phone. She wasn't thinking about deadlines. She wasn't worrying about money. She just sat quietly. The soft wind touched her face. The water moved slowly. A bird landed near her feet, looked at her, and flew away. It felt magical. After a few minutes, the driver called, "Everyone back to the bus." People slowly walked back, but their faces looked calmer. Mehreem didn't want to leave, but she stood up and walked back too. The bus started again. This time the road slowly changed and merged back into the city streets. Suddenly her phone got the network back. The schoolboy smiled. The woman opened her book. The men continued his talk. Everything felt normal again, but something inside Mehreem had changed. After 10 minutes, the bus stopped. "This is your stop," the driver said to her. She stepped down slowly. When she turned to look at the bus again, it was gone. Not down the road, not around the corner. Just gone, like it never existed. Mehreem reached her office and clocked in. Surprisingly, she was not late. She was 10 minutes early. "How is that possible?" she whispered. Her friend laughed. "Maybe your watch was wrong." But Mehreem knew something magical had happened. The whole day she felt fresh, calm, and focused. She handled customers politely, solved problems easily, and felt lighter than she had in years. When she walked home that evening, she wasn't rushing. She wasn't tired. She wasn't frustrated. She looked at the sky and smiled. From that day, Mehreem changed small things in her life. She stopped rushing all the time. She started breathing slowly when she felt stressed. She talked kindly to herself. She learned to pause. Every time she felt overwhelmed, she remembered the magical bus, the peaceful lake, and the old uncle's words. Sometimes being late brings you to something better. And slowly her life became healthier, calmer, and happier.